Hello, good evening. And on the day that the Qatar World Cup started and within minutes was being accused of all sorts of fraudulent action, we are pleased to say that usual service on a Sunday night is resumed, and the most prestigious and honest and law-abiding of all of football content is live for your viewing and listening pleasure. Joining me tonight is a former Super League winner, White Rose manager Steve Wright. Good evening.
Good evening, mate. Hope you're well. Hope you enjoyed your festivities with Aidan over the last couple of years.
Tree there in the background, look.
It's a little bit early for my liking, but I'm of the ilk of you. Christmas is a special time of year for me. It always has been in my family. So looking forward to it when eventually
the time is right. Yeah, it's a tradition for us. We do it the same weekend as the local town lights switch on, because it just makes you feel like everything comes together at the same time. So
good way to look at it. Good way to look at it.
They did the big town switch on Friday. We had our decks up on Saturday, but we're not here to talk about the dates that different people put their Christmas tree up. We are here to talk about the Super League, and there's been a lot going on of late, hasn't there, Steve? We had the brief interlude for the Cmsl Cup. We came back the other day for game week 15. There's been about 750 transfers processed in the last week. And not only that, but just today, while I was trying to do the packs, we had two Continental Cup games that saw Haggis defeat this side 6-0. And then they played another side and won 5-0. Daniel Jimenez, a fan favourite in the chat, he got 2 last time, and I believe he also scored 2 in the first game, so he's already on 4 goals. Bumsong played in the first one. He's now gone to Fulchester. Sadabi has currently got 3 goals in his 2 Continental Cup games. He's on his way out the club as well. So clearly their continental exploits are attracting attention of other Super League managers. Yeah, well, nobody were slinging massive bids in for Tim Cahill after last time. So with us lots, I'm surprised that I know that deal that's involving Olise Dabi. Obviously, I know what Agis were looking for in terms of in strength in numbers of where they were looking at, and I think it's a fair one for both. So yeah, it's going to be
it's been great since you announced it, sort of last weekend. It's been a bit of a rush. I had no intentions at all of going to full 7 at all until when I'd done the most of it were people coming to me. In fairness, I went for Vieira. I'll be honest, I went to Odger. And then when I looked at everything on paper, I thought, do you know what? I need a bit of a backup at AMC, hence the Yorick deal that's due to be done. I still think as a team as a whole, if you take us AMCs out of it, we're looking pretty well after it all. It's just at AMC, we need Nicky Franco to start being the Nicky Franco we've seen in previous Super Leagues and not last time out. I don't think he's quite as bad as he was. I don't think he's hitting the straps as much as he can do as yet.
So, brief look at the league table before we start going. And you currently find yourself down in 13th. It was suggested by Dimble last time round that essentially yourselves, Astra and Triple P, are pretty much out of the equation already.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. 10 points off with 11 to play. It'd take a hell of a run. It needs 3 wins on bounce to even have a chance. But obviously, we're playing top of league right now tonight. So, I'm under no illusions. I said when I did my little video of the day, it's more a case of now I've got a few different players in, try finding a feel for the team again. Now I feel like I like it again, try and find something that works, and then just try and plough every effort into making a fist of it next season.
Okay. When you look at the league table as it is now, as you say, Northern Burn currently top. You've got Coast 3 points behind, Stanley and Vikings a further 2. Then 1 point gaps between the Gazelles and the Casuals. Still got Fulchester and Haggis just a point outside, and Celtics within 3 points. It's still very tight, isn't it? How do you see, or should I say, how many of the current top 6 do you see finishing there when you see the chasing pack as well?
I'd probably say looking at the current top 6, given the deals that Odgie has done and his team last time out, I think I commented on his post, it looks stronger than anything Morton had put out all season. Once he'd done a couple of transfers last time out, I think Gazelles are probably the most likely to drop away just because of they've had spikes and troughs from supposed legends that are never good on the game, but they've had them doing it. So one game Nedved will go well while somebody else has been crap. Then they've had Rivaldo doing well while Nedved's been crap, and I think they're probably most likely to fall away from the top 6. In fairness, I think Scott. It depends how he's sticking to his guns on this narrow, and I think if anybody's going to get narrow going, Scott has done massively before when he was at Chudley in a previous life. But yeah, there's going to be pressure put on. You look right down to Badgers there. Pressure's there to be put on massively, and I think I don't think the predictions are as easy now. Now this raft of transfers has happened. I think we're going to take 2 or 3 games before things start settling down a little bit, and then we can start seeing probably a greater picture of probably what's going to happen.
And at the bottom of the table, so you've currently got a 3 point gap to Astor, and you're 2 points behind Triple P. Do you see it as a freeway slog for the bottom, or are you confident enough that you won't, although you are within a game of being there, you're confident you won't really be touching 14th place?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think last game out, like I said, I think it was a little bit of a freak game. If you take the 5 goals out of it, I think defensively we've been okay enough.
Sorry, it's a bit of a free game if you take the 5 goals out of it.
Yeah, because the like I said, we performed very well in that game, and like I said, I had a little bit of a response to Scott. That if you took the stats of that game, nobody ever predicted that game would be 5-0. But you take that 5 goals out of it, I think we were best side defensively outside top 6 prior to that anyway. I can't see that changing now. I mean, the thing is, you're bringing one of the best centre halves in the league, and then you do that. But yeah, I'm confident we can hold things out and moving things about, and it's all dependent on Tato said to me before the start of the season, I can't see where your goals are going to come from. And it's proved to be right. And I'm just hoping that Luca Tony can change that. Now, Dario Sainz had 5-6s on bounce, I think. So,
okay. Well, those games permitting, your trip to Top League Northern Burn will be last. We did have a request, I believe, for Vikings to be on early. So if it's all the same to you, Steve, we'll get started with that game. And obviously, there is only 6 games tonight because of that Continental Cup. The Haggis Stanley game will take place sometime in the middle of the week, I imagine. I'll work it out. Dimble as well, pointing out.
even game. I say it were very even.
And Doug had also appreciated the comments. So yeah, if it's all the same to you, we'll start with Celtics v Vikings.
Yeah, defo, mate. Defo.
Celtics, Vikings. Here we go. So Vikings currently find themselves 4th in the table without suspended Desai and the injured Lucinov this time around. They have made a couple of squad alterations during the reserves week. Amido has got his big chance. He's got 3 assists for Mike Savage this season. He's got 5 goals and assists in 12 reserve games as well. But although he's in the squad, he isn't in the match day team. The other change, Guigu also getting a call up, doesn't make the squad either. I believe, just having a quick look, it's unchanged, barring that suspension to Desai, where Ado comes in and Romoshenko takes his place on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, with transfers, as you're looking, I think Ian Edwards is the king of this. You'd bring players in that can play in your 11. You don't bring anybody in my opinion, that you don't see going to start going forward. So I'm really surprised to see Ursi not involved. Although I think the deal was a little bit in Jens's favour, in fairness as well, because Saviola has history of being hit and miss. He was decent for us, in fairness, with Dudley Hill. But I mean, you can sort of see why with the setup, putting your eggs in the basket with Totti. But yeah, after the last time out, there were no need to make any changes, bar something like a suspension or injury, whether.
No, indeed. Let's have a look at their hosts for this evening then. Celtics, they made a couple of alterations too, but there's been more in terms of likes of Luke Chadwick has come in since the last game week. Matt Holland has also come in. He replaces the suspended Davids this evening. So they're matching up tactically.
Yeah, I mean, I think Greaves as well with his transfers, he's sort of built up to sort of carry on playing this way. I mean, I know I played a complete near enough second string against him in Cup, but then players are supposed to be at a level of being able to play in this league, and we got absolutely terrorised by that formation and the players that were in it. I think he had 23 shots with about 18 on target or something like that. So you can see why he's sticking with it. Matty Holland, yeah, I like Matty Holland. 23 with 15. I think, and obviously he was part of the Locomotive Boston winning side. I still feel there's a couple of biggish sort of myths in there, but it's. But yeah, it's. I can see why. Then it's sort of, in my opinion, I think obviously bringing Chadwick in, it's sort of seeing that he wants to carry on playing this way because it's doing so well for him at the minute. But the problem is when you go this hard in terms of midfielders and playing wingers, it's that another. If he goes a big spell of 5-6 games with a run of bad results, there's very little to change it back to unless he's playing Delivio at DML, DMR, or even Matty Holland there. So I think it's a little bit shit or bust already for him at the minute.
Okay. Just allocate a few squad numbers there and ask you for a score prediction, please.
I'm going to go 2-1 Vikings because of how they played last time out.
2-1 Vikings is the prediction. So let's go in the book inside the first couple of minutes. Because Effenberg, Beckham getting involved, your Gatos on the other side. Maldini and Stan playing amongst themselves. Matt Holland takes over. The other card, I believe that was for Gamara. Claims for penalty. Referee says no. Doesn't consult his linesman. Van Bommel goes in the book. And there's Totti this time. Just over half an hour played. Still plenty in this first half yet. Totti again puts one over the bar. And this time it goes wide. Vikings ended the half strong, but it concludes 0-0, Steve.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid performance from Vikings. I think, let's say you're talking about Galacticos and this and other. I think Ian Edwards is probably the biggest one. And I think he's learned a little bit, in fairness, going forward from his previous times throughout all these different iterations. Having a full Galacticos side doesn't help you at times. At this present minute in time, Vikings are proving that. Greedy has got the quality to start performing a bit, but I can just see Vikings away from strength to strength. Yeah.
They did end the half very strong, that is for sure. Looking at the Celtics' performance, it's the attacking players there. You've got Shevchenko, Morientes rating 6s, not really getting service. Just one shot for the whole team in that first half tells you that they're having to work very hard defensively.
Yeah, I mean, but you look there, Matty Holland's having a decent debut so far, and I think he has got a place in this league, in fairness, and he can do things like that as sort of a backup drop in when needed. But he's looking at his wide players, looking at Beckham, he's done okay. George Atlas not getting a sniff by the looks of it, and then you've got your centre halves are just missing nearly everything. So at this present minute in time, unless they pick it up, it's all pointing towards a Vikings winner at the minute.
Well, let's have a look at what they're doing to overpower their hosts. And despite the seeming dominance in terms of possession and creativity, Van Bommel there, yellow card and a 5 rating.
I mean, I'm not surprised with the deals that we've done with Jens and Scott from getting Van Bommel in. I managed to get Van Bommel and Zinone from Jens last save for Crespo, I think it was. He's got a lot of bad press throughout the league. I think the best place to play him to try and get the numbers that you expect.
Are you talking Van Bommel again?
Yeah, Van Bommel. I mean, missing 5 tackles there, but he's had a pot. He was poor for me, in fairness. But then again, he played centre midfield for me, and I murder centre midfielders like nobody's business. So I'm nobody to talk. But again, there's improvement there with a couple of these big players. Surprised to see Eric Addo sat there on his own on a 6 as well. It's completed like most of his passes, but again, missing tackles for fun. But Gamara's 6 looks a little bit harsh for me, in fairness.
Possibly to do with the yellow card, I'd imagine.
Yeah, but it's solid, and both teams have got more to give, though, haven't they? So it's going to be an interesting second half.
So you're seeing nothing there to not convince you that Vikings go on to win this?
Yeah, I still think Vikings are going to win it because I think they're doing slightly better at this present minute in time.
Well, we knew Greavesy wasn't going to be here tonight, and Jens saying as is till 60, so let's resume the action. And it was Celtics with the first attempt of the half, but here come Vikings again. Yellow card, a few yellow cards being dished out already this evening. And just as we hit the 60-minute pause button, Vikings take the lead through Justin Walker.
I mean, if it's not going to rub the salt in the wound of Tato as much, he's had a fantastic season so far as Justin Walker, and it's crazy to think throughout all the iterations he's never been involved. It doesn't look one of the better versions of him, in fairness, but you can't knock sort of what he's coming from centre midfield with, when centre midfield is probably one of the hardest positions to get people more in from. And yeah, again, they're looking strong, and this dark horse at the minute of these Vikings.
It's quite incredible what Vikings have managed to do, isn't it? Because they were very much tipped during the testing period where everyone got a copy of the save. They were sort of finishing bottom in most people's tables. Everyone said their squad looked fairly average, but they've been up there all season.
Yeah, well, I think if Vikings had this team that's out on paper today at the start of the save, we we won't be having that conversation, and it'd never happen. Jens has managed to bring some players in through, I don't know the best way to say it, through people getting frustrated with certain players. And obviously Scott's love of Carl Jacques, as we all know. He's got a far better team there on paper than they were doing well at the start of save as well. He was sat there with deals in the bag and he was still ploughing on and getting results. Now he's managed to bring a couple of big names in that are performing for him and a more solid team. And I think it's all credit where it's due.
Absolutely. 7-man VAR says it was offside, says Alf. Evening, Alf. I hope you are well. Jens asked for the ratings, so we've got them up on the screen for him now. Just waiting confirmation of any substitutions. Again, no Greasy, so we won't look at the Celtics team unless there is an injury or a red card. Give Jens 30 more seconds or so to make his decision. In the meantime, it's worth noting that there is the game missing tonight, and I'm trying to work out when that's going to be played because I'm going to struggle to do packs tomorrow because Fools Rush in starting early because we've got a guest on. I'll let you guys know when that game will be played, but the Stanley Haggis game will be played before the next round of league fixtures, or at least the same night as the next round of league fixtures, because it falls directly in the middle. In fact, I think the Continental Cup game and the league game play on the same day. We had that last year, didn't we, Steve?
Yeah, we did. Which I think you proved far well with the team of Misfits. I think Fernando Rickson were not really good. I were only in the old save yesterday, looking at a few little bits, and I think. But yeah, it's good that the team's involved and stuff. But obviously, it causes a bit of mayhem, doesn't it, with the league fixtures, as we all know.
It does cause a little bit of carnage. Thankfully, it's only every couple of seasons that we have to worry about it. So we've got Romoshenko has come on, as has Etsabaria, and we're going 2 behind 1 for the last half an hour, Steve.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Van Bommel on a 5 walking red card. Etsabaria can, as we all know, he's got pedigree coming out of his ears, and it's nice to see he's getting numbers out of Totti as well. 8 there. He's probably got the assist, and yeah, it's understandable from the viewpoint. But although I did see Tato saying poor Whale, but when he's winning and your wingers have Volodenkov and Duff, I don't think he's got a place.
Absolutely. We will slow the commentary down with only 1 goal in it at this stage. Corner kick to Vikings. Totti, Cannavaro's gone horribly, horribly wrong into the final 10 minutes. Time ticking away from the home side. Here comes Shevchenko, though. Still Shevchenko, but he puts it over the bar. Kamara didn't give him a chance. Into the final 5 minutes, and Beckham. Shevchenko couldn't convert. Maldini now. Etzberg gets in the way, but Zayleus picks up. Penza catches him, goes in the book. Into injury time. 1 last chance, possibly on the counter. Morientes. Shevchenko was offside. And then straight up the other end, Etzberg gets on the end of the free kick, sets up Totti, who puts it over. But that was enough for Vikings to come away with this with a 1-0 win, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, fully deserved looking at that as well. Obviously, they've been absolutely dominated in the air, but obviously, ball played with your feet. Fairly even on tackles, 1. And do you know what? Greavesy, I wonder whether he'll go back to drawing board or whether he'll stick with it. He can be a little bit reactive at time. I think it's gone a little bit under the radar, especially since his title win, that he can be a bit reactive and change things up. But it seems like with 24 free kicks, it seems like Vikings have kicked him off at park. No wonder they're all them yellers.
I remember when he was on comms a few weeks ago and he was talking about the one he looks at first is the tackles percentage. I believe he said it has to be high 60s, low 70s minimum. So he's not going to be happy looking at this stats when he watches it back. Let's have a look at the home side first. Ratings not too bad. They perform relatively well. Only Yap Stam getting a 6. Every other outfield player on a 7. Taibbi 8, obviously former Rose goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's. I mean, to be fair, it worked for both of us. And Taibbi, we're never going to get a look in again because Pellizzoli he's picked up where at the start of a save where he offered us in last save. So he's sort of steady as they come. It's Pellizzoli. Never really had him before, but yeah, so I wouldn't let him go. Grizzly come to me and said, "I give you a Joe call for Taibbi," and the way Pellizzoli were going, we're never going to say no. But it's not a bad performance, and I just think you just need to stick with it rather than chopping about a bit. But that's a fantastic performance from Cannavaro, is that, isn't it?
Stunning performance from Cannavaro, almost 100% pass complete rating. You've got winning, again, almost 100% of his tackles, and over 50% of the ones he won were key tackles, 50% of his headers as well, and having a shot on goal. You can literally do everything.
Yeah, that's and to be fair, apart from, let's say, you look at Alan Smith before he went off and look at Van Bommel, it's fairly, apart from Cannavaro, it's fairly average performance as well. Okay performance. You won't be disappointed with it, but you won't be swinging from trees. And to be fair, it shows they've got far more in them as well. There's that, which bodes well for them going forward.
Well, congratulations to Vikings on picking up a win. First game of the evening. Commiserations when you watch this back to Greavesy. Next, let's go to Triple P. They're at home to Gazelles. Since we last played, Julio Arca has come in. Willie Samuel also come in for the Gazelles. One of those may feature tonight, with Arca getting a place on the bench. Pizarro out injured. DiBiagio has been called up from the reserves. He's also got an injury. Let's have a look at the tactic then. Something that Gazelles fans are becoming familiar with. Kivu and Emiliano in front of Barthez. That's a strong defensive line. Galkers. A few people have mentioned him. The season's gone on. Position of Mendieta's come into question a couple of times, but he's out on the right with Neville on the left. And Nedved and Rivaldo either side of Petrov, and Adilson supporting Saviola.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if I were Dan, I know Neville can be very good. He were really strong in last save. I know when Scott had him for a bit, his stats were really good. But only way you're going to get Oliaka better and bring him up quicker is by playing him. We had him on loan from Fulchester during last save, and he played a couple of games for us, really good. During that save, I think Macca played him for a spell, and he were like 8, 7, 9 or something like that for a few games. Yeah, I mean, I think DiBiagio were really good at the start of the season from memory for Gazelles, which surprised me him going down and then coming back up. But Galko's been okay. It's a setup that probably suits what he's got at this present minute in time. You just worry about Saviola being up top on his own.
You seem to worry about Saviola in every position. Every time he's on the pitch, he can't play there. You worry about him there. I think he's proven he's got Super League quality about him. That is for sure.
I think he's better in a 2 side. Tato got really good numbers out of him in a 2. I think with us, he played 15 games for us, and I think he were between goals and assists in 14, playing outside of Lucatone. I think he's better in a 2. That's just my opinion. I don't know no better than anybody else.
I am still waiting for Rob to confirm which of his players I can send down to make this a 24. It seems with so many transfers and the reserve swaps, people there were about a good 50% of the league got a message saying you've got one player too many in your squad. As for the man himself, he's put a message out. Can't wait to get pumped. So he's nice and confident. Let's have a look. So since we last played, they've added Brozek, they've added Makoku. Juninho can go down. Thank you. Sutton injured, Melito injured, Mackay injured as well. First time I mentioned they're called up from the reserves, so unable to feature. Goes back to kind of what he was playing a couple of games ago. with the diagonal arrow from central midfield and the 2 supporting 1. And it's a brand new attack midfield line with Makoko and Brozek making their debuts.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, I'm sort of surprised at this present minute that he wants this Bermudez for Yorick deal on table, because he's got a couple of strong centre halves there, one not playing. But he's let some good players go pretty cheap. Love Rob to bits, but letting Rustico go for Almeida, who's not even playing, it's just pretty ridiculous. But again, I go back to the love I've got of him because of the last save and how good he was. But look, I'm sure Rob will. Don't matter who's on his team, he'll get them playing, because they always seem to do. He might be sort of floundering a little bit just in front of us, but he has these spikes where he just entertains everybody. And I think this team on paper, I don't like Brozak and AMC, I never have, but be interesting to see where Tonton goes during its save.
If I could just take a moment to divert attention away from the action before we kick off. Just seen the message in the group from Swan about the weekend he's had. Obviously, everyone, there'll be a few of you that haven't read it yet, but everyone at Cmsl will obviously be sending their very best to Swanee and his dad, and hope for a speedy recovery. But yeah, sending all our love, pal. Hope everything is okay. If you haven't seen that and you are in that chat, then by all means you can have a quick look while we go to Match Centre and be fully up to date with what is going on. Let's head to Match Centre then, Steve, and ask you please for your prediction.
So I'll tell you what, I'm going to look back on me, just quickly go back to me third up. I went 3-2, Triple P, this one.
3-2 to Triple P. Let's kick off the action then. As I can see the messages flooding back in reply to Swan, which is always nice to see. Mendieta from the penalty spot makes it 1-0 to Gazelles. There's 2. It's Rivaldo. It's been disallowed. Adilson was offside. But there is the second Nedved. All the players we were talking about in the build-up very much get involved. It's free. It's Nedved again. Triple P. As much as we all enjoy how entertaining Rob can be, Triple P are fucking awful. Absolutely terrible. The board weren't happy the other day. They're not going to be happy with this either. Yes, I've noticed Green before, Dan, that he doesn't have a first name. It's bizarre. And I'm not sure if he's talking to me or his team, but here's Rob's halftime reaction. Oh, fuck off. Just fuck right off. Fucking wank. Dog shot. Fucking garbage shit. Get that keeper off, says Tato. Wow. So, Gazelles 3-0 up at the break. And Dan must be thinking this Super League lark's easy, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he must have thought that after the first few games of the season, in fairness, where we're going. But that's a solid, if not more dominant first half performance that we probably might not see again for the rest of the season.
Triple P have created absolutely nothing, getting absolutely dominated in the air as well. Let's have a... Keep these fucking arseholes on the pitch, says Rob. Dan said I didn't even think he had a keeper. And Ian Edwards saying Nedved has gone stratospheric. I mean, in fairness, Molina is the joint highest rating of anybody. There's no 5s, there's no 4s. I'm a little bit surprised by what I'm seeing there.
Yeah, I mean, again, we go back to the yellow card scenario. Kufre's had a really, really strong half there. I think even with yellow card, it deserves an 8. If you didn't have a yellow, it might be a 9. But yeah, it's where does Rob go from here? I don't think what's planned in terms of George Murray's coming is going to help any further. I genuinely don't feel like I can't advise anybody in fairness, but it's like, he's gone. He's lost what was the perceived best striker, Barcigalco, in last save. He's let him go for Crespo. I mean, I had Crespo in last save. He has spikes, he's scoring 2 or 3, and then he'll drop off a cliff for a bit, and then he'll get you an hat-trick. So it is goals to games. If you go on goals that he scores in games as opposed to amount of goals, I think it's probably a lot less over the jaunt of Super League. But he's having fun with it, the looks of it, and I'm sure come next game we might see a few changes.
Duggan asked to see the lineup from game week 1. So Nigmatulin's no longer in goal. Zauri's now at Northern Burn. Kandeya's still there, I believe, playing tonight. Hoffland's just gone. Costa's playing tonight. Petit's playing tonight. Beckham's gone. Makaleli, I believe, is on the bench tonight. And Penzer's gone. Mackay's injured. And Trezeguet on the bench. Alf suggesting it's only half time. Have confidence, Rob.
Yeah, I think what do we draw that game 2 apiece for it? Yeah, I was seeing it there. But that's completely solid though from Gazelles, isn't it?
Strong rating, strong performances all round. Rob telling Duggan to piss off.
I tell you what though, not 3 goals. I know 1 were a pen, not an assist in sight. That's
Dave saying most you've scored all season. That's Steve.
It may well be. Just yeah.
Dan saying looks like he's played his own first string lineup. Let's give Arca half, please, says Dan. He's coming on for the yellow carded Phil Neville. Well, make sure you display your blue badge for remaining 10 game weeks, please. Absolute mercy killing at this stage. So Rob wanted to leave the players on. Julio Arca comes on for his Gazelles debut. Let's resume the action to the 60-minute mark.
I agree with that from Rob, though, in fairness. Just let him down the sword. Sort of thing I'd do.
Rock saying we're all waking up next to a nuclear warhead, aren't we? We've reached our mark. It hasn't got any worse. In fact, Molina's performance has got better. He's now the best player for Triple B tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Petit's gone up to a 7. A couple more 7s have crept in.
Would you? You said that you would very much be of the die on the sword mentality. Is there not a sort of professional pride that you want to be the guy that turns it around from 3-0 down?
Yeah, but what can he bring off that bench? He's got a myth in Zidane that he left go for one of the best DMCs on game, which subsequently has left the club that he left for. Trezeguet is meh. He just, I don't know where he can go with that bench. What it can change, just to.
Well, nothing is the answer. He said just keep it as it is. So now we have a look at the Gazelles, and would you be tempted maybe to rest the other 2 players on yellow cards to avoid sending off?
Maybe with how good Nedved has been. In fairness, I'd be all over a Foraquai coming on for half an hour. For
trying to get him some goals and confidence.
Yeah, he's a good player. He's not determined enough to show that he might be able to do it. But yeah, he's one of them. He's a really good player. And he looked really strong outside of the league, as most players do, because of the strength of the league and how everything's dipped down. Saviola come into the game. I'm interested to see what he's done. In fairness, I've never ever played him up front on his own, so I'm sort of intrigued to what his numbers might be.
Okay. Well, we've got the one change. Just wait for Dan to confirm if he wants to make another or if he's happy to go with what is currently on the pitch. But Vargas has come on. Steve, did you watch the World Cup game earlier? Oh, or was that while you were out?
Yeah. I got in about 6 o'clock. I think I got in. So yeah, I was too busy playing Rainbow Island for those that are old enough to remember it. to be worried.
Well, I'm sure if the rest of the World Cup is anything like that, then there's going to be controversial and boring. in equal measure, but at least it's underway now. As this game is back underway, still 3-0 to the away side, it still looks most likely that they'd be the ones to add to that goal tally, if anyone. Rivaldo, though, going off injured late on. So Fyfie will be coming on. But where does he play? Does he swap places with Adilson or Saviola?
Well, I don't know what Adilson's positioning is like. So it'd probably be Adilson and then Saviola and AMC. But, well, it looks like creative and can play enough. I'd probably put him into CM and then Saviola, AMC, and then Fyfie up top. But
Alf's saying that he fell asleep during the second half of Qatar versus Ecuador. It was so slow. To be fair, Alf, there was so much in that first half that there was nothing left to give in the second half. And despite the graphic that pops up on the screen, I still don't believe that first goal was offside. I think that was taken from a different game entirely. But there we go. Fyfie does come on and go up top for the remaining few minutes. Pile driver from Crespo. There's no further goals as the co-commentator runs off. In the end, Triple P made a fight of it, but just could not convert. And the game ends 3-0 to GW16.
Yeah, decent second half performance considering what Gazelles went in first half. When you've outplayed your team, your opponent in second half and not get a goal or just something to boost it a little bit. Back to the drawing board for Rob, in fairness. What
would you do if you were in charge of Triple P right now? I mean, you've seen the squad, you've seen what's available. Do you think there's still a team there that could win their fair share of games?
Yeah, I think there is. It's just a bit bonkers all over from positions he's left. Zara needs to play over Salihamidzic for me. Zara is class. I don't know. George Costa has done pretty well for him. He's got reason numbers there. Kufre has done well. I don't know, in fairness. I just don't know from where it currently is what it can change it up to. But I think it needs to go back to something that Rob's played before and got numbers out of, whether it be Devils, whether he got a lot of stuff out of Sloths being a poor side. Oh, Zara's been sold. Sorry, it must have been sold him out. I apologise. Here's a burden there. But he's had great numbers, great performances, loads of goals out of perceived poor sides before. It needs to go back to find that little thing that can make this team tweak. I'm just gonna bob off for a second because I need a wee.
Okay. Pavel Nedved picks up man of the match for a stunning performance for Gazelles. Almost scoring with both of his attempts on goal and almost completing all of his passes. Unsurprisingly, Fyfie never got involved at all in his few minutes on the pitch. Julio Arca was the man of interest at half-time. He came on and certainly played a part. Can Rob and I have 24 transfers each between us? No, Alf, you can't. I mean, no more transfers being handed out this season. You've had plenty. But congratulations to Gazelles on a fine 3-0 win away at Triple P. We're not going there. Let's go to Asta. They host Dragons. They have added to their ranks Marco Materazzi from East Coast, and Yakubu has come in from Bern. They lost 2-0 away. Lost 2-0 away at Haggis last time out. Got completely outplayed as well. So we're hopeful that Materazzi can have a big impact. Yakubu doesn't even make the squad. Looking at the lineup, Soren Zanetti out wide, Pauline Ferguson, very combative midfield, and Robin playing centrally. Interesting, Chiesa and Inzaghi as a front two. Salas there, He has got 3 goals and 2 assists this season. Played well, not in the squad. Viduka hasn't yet scored, but we all know what he's capable of. No more transfers this season. Fuck's sake, Fyfie. Well, 12 I think is plenty when you have a first team squad of 24. You've been able to bring in half a first team squad, having already drafted in 12 of your own players as well. So you've got more than enough this year. Ulster were one of the early season favourites or pre-season favourites, but find themselves rooted at the bottom of the league. Last time these two sides met, it was a 2-2 draw at the Jamie Hopkins Memorial Ground in Sydney. Though you sent off in that one, Dragons were leading 1-0 at half time. As for Dragons, they added in Udeze on loan from White Rose. He does not make the matchday squad. They also added Mark Fyfie from Bostock Stanley. He does come in and makes his debut for the Dragons this evening. They also made a couple of reserve swaps. Reyes came up. ZZ Roberts come up. There was talk of Casas coming up as well, but he's been left in the reserves. And this is how the Dragons line up. Change my keeper to keep him happy. Oh, changed my keeper to keep him happy. So we see, as I said, Fyfie make his debut. Gerard moving further forward to support Bowyer while Keane is suspended. So, Steve, welcome back. We've got Astra Athletic at home to Dragons. Have you got a score prediction for us, please?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at 3-1 Dragons here. They've been, over the last 5 games, have been extremely good. The worrying thing is for me, if I'm on that sort of run, it's like, obviously it does come to an end at some point, but the way Ronaldinho's working, obviously Constantino's always going to be a big danger. They've been very, very, very good, and best spell of form for a Dragon side for a little while. I don't know, but probably so. But yeah, the way Astor are going at this present minute in time, I can't overly see past a Dragons win.
Plus, you don't want them putting any pressure on you, of course, with your game this evening either. There is 1-0. It's Bowyer who opens scoring for Dragons. And here they come again, looking for a second. Working very hard to get this second. But it's just not being forced over the line. Just over half an hour play. Dragons absolutely dominating this. And there's the second. It's Archie back. Makes it 2-0. And we get to half time. Tato suggesting that Fyfie to successfully make 8+ tackles here. We will shortly find out how he's doing in the first half. It looked a lot more Dragons dominated than those stats suggest, Steve.
Well, I'll say any changes keeper to keep him happy. I think he's going to be very unhappy with his keeper looking at that. But yeah, I mean, it's not. It's just clinical. I'd say it's just clinical more than anything. I mean, you look at they just obviously winning everything in the air. Tackles won pretty much the same. But yeah, they're on that run of form at minute, and the players are just playing out of skin for the manager.
Will we ever win a game, asks Alf. Well, you're the only man who can alter your side's fortunes. Let's have a look. Elefthopoulos rating of 5. Everyone else 6s, apart from just those 2 7s for Wes Brown and for Ian Robin. No yellow cards, no conditional issues. So looking at the bench, Brujink, the obvious solution to try and turn this round?
Yeah, for Chiesa, for definite, it would be for me. I mean, Wes Brown's only an header or 2 away from being an 8, in fairness. Completed all his passes, all his tackles, both being key. Just not winning out in there. Yeah, it's a tough one for Alf at minute because it's a case of he's got an extremely strong team on paper, but he keep sticking with his wingers and things are not working. Does he go back to one of his old days in arrows with 2 AMCs with arrows to striker? Does he go back to DML DMR? I think he's got far more to think about than anybody would have thought he should have made. He had to do, given the draft. So.
As for Dragons, the first thing I want to look at is Fyfie. 6 tackles attempted, 3-1, so still 5 away. Still 5 away from hitting Tato's prediction. The ratings only marginally better than that of Asta, but better in the crucial areas.
Yeah, it's not a unreal performance that you'd be not questioning. I mean, you look at Nesta again on a 6. I don't know. It's crazy to think what's going on there, but I think he's one of them. Going back to what Ryan used to say, you get your players playing that have got the thing on a 6 for Totti is better than a 7 for Mendonca sort of thing. So just having Nesta sat there working. I mean, obviously they haven't conceded a goal, but is it because they've not had that much to do though as well? So, but yeah, fully expect Dragons to close this out pretty comfortably.
Well, it was a double change for Asta with an as-is for the Dragons. Yellow card there. And then we dip into the 60s. And there's Inzaghi pulling 1 back for Asta, so it is game on.
A little bit of improvement all round there, isn't there? So, but when you've got like Barry Ferguson not getting involved, you've got Inzaghi's on a 6, but he's scored a goal. He's obviously stuck a knee out at something or come off a chest or his backside or something like that. But yeah, makes for a pretty interesting closing out to game.
With the goal coming in, do you think that would persuade Alf to stick as is and let this team carry on trying to build that momentum?
Yeah, definitely. I think the tactical change has got him back into the game, so I can't see any reason to change it, in fairness.
Well, he is, with Pires coming on for Power in the centre midfield. So it's an attack-minded change.
Yeah, I think Pires, like early days, first couple of games, I think he was pretty good as well, wasn't he? When nobody else had even attempted to give him a game. So, but I can understand what Alf's doing here, going man for man matching, a bit like I'd done against Burn tonight, in fairness. But like Martin Keown, though.
Centre back's definitely struggling. Oh, excuse me, for Dragons. A lot of people have said it, but Nesta has been very, very poor this year.
Yeah, he's still. I mean, he's averaging 3.8 tackles there. 1. I'd still persist. I don't think the problem is the more he carries on like this, he won't hold the value that that he's obviously perceived to have in the Dragons camp. But Tudor, in fairness, coming up, Tudor's best games for me at Dudley Hill were coming off at bench, where he seemed to get an 8 coming off at bench in the most games. When he was starting, that he struggled a bit. So I think that's a sensible option, sensible change, and definitely see him seeing it out.
Well, that's not quite at the point of slowing it down yet, but let's see if Asta can continue. And they got a penalty, and Robin scores his 2-2. And suddenly, Dragons might, wow, is that going to wake them up? Are they going to come back and take the lead again? This is on a knife edge, this game now. Do Asta have one last chance in them to completely turn it round? Here goes Bowyer. And there's a strike, but with the save, and I heads the corner clear. 86 now on the clock. Cafu from Bowyer. Throw into the away side. Ferguson, distance. Now Cafu, but saves it. Ronaldinho! Right off the post, surely to win it for Dragons. 3-2 to the away side. Ferguson picks up the loose ball. Inzaghi, oh, it's a goal! It's 3 apiece. So late in the game. And injury time. Botia picks up. Surely there's not another one. Yellow card handed out. Injury time free kick. Constantino, fine save from Butt. Corner kick. Ronaldinho back! Oh, he's done it!
Dear God.
Unbelievable scenes! What the fuck?
Wow.
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 Rock saying wild. Dimble saying seeds. Wow, what have we just seen there, Steve? This game was petering into nothing at halftime, and all of a sudden it turned into a 7-goal thriller.
See, I was about to say, I'm getting primed to say, look, if you dug in there, he's got that equaliser, and you won 5 on bounce, to then take a point after winning 5 on bounce. You're happy with it, you're away from home. Any point away from home in this league is massive. But, yeah. That's unbelievable from Dragons, is that. And Ronaldinho, again, he's come alive a bit more so than quite a lot of recent times in league.
Mm-hmm. But that is Dragons' 6th consecutive win.
Yeah, he's talking about Big Lee Bowyer that he were quite willing and easily to ship out for something that'd help him. But yeah, it's a deserved result regardless of scoreline, fairness, and it's back to the drawing board for Alf again. But I think.
I mean, should we have a word on Alf, because his side have come from 2-0 down, from 3-2 down, and still managed not to get a point.
Yeah, it's. I just think things are just not working the way he's playing. He's been around long enough to know he just needs a little bit of a different variant of what he's doing. Zanetti is not a right winger at all. He can play there, and he'll pad out and get you 7 every game, but it's not where you're going to get best out of him. I think he needs to go back to drawing board and go back to some of his old sort of tactic style. I think his team is geared up to going back to where he used to be in terms of playing his little narrows, but yeah, he's got a lot to work on, in fairness.
As for Dragons, I mean, you've got Keown rating of 5, you've got Vita Bio rating 6, then you've got Cafu rating 10, Archie Back rating 10, Ronaldinho rating a 9, a couple of 8s dotted in there as well. It was an entertaining game and largely a very good performance by Dragons.
Yeah, very good. But you still sat with Nesta on a 6. And they
did concede 3 goals.
Yeah, I mean, he's won half his tackles, only one of them key. But if you're winning games when Nesta's on a 6, and you know that sometime he's going to come good and start putting out the proper numbers, it stands you a good stead going forward, in my opinion.
No, absolutely. Congratulations to Dragons on a pulsating and dramatic victory. As we say, it takes it to
before you go, Matt Beaman for his tackles. When we're looking at his tackles.
Oh yes, for his tackles. 5. Not the 8 I was looking for. Duncan probably enjoying a win against bottom of the league more than I should, soz lads. And Ronaldinho 7 assists, 8 goals this season. Oh, let's try that again. Next, we head to Fulchester, and they host East Coast. A lot of Macca's messages in the chat this evening have been completely unreadable. I do have a clue what he's trying to say. Yeah. Coast have been busy. So since we last met on Thursday, they have added Henrik Larsson from yourselves, Samuel Eto'o's come in as well, Ortega's come in from Astor, and Kevin Hoffland has come in from Triple P. A lot of these players are involved. I have a feeling they also... Oh, no, they didn't add... Oh, Stefan Kloss came up from the reserves. I want to say someone else did, but I can't think for the life of me who it was. So the standard sort of Dimble tactic is in effect. Ortega makes his debut. Hoffland makes his debut, as does Larson in attacking midfield. Etu's on the bench. I'll be honest, that people know there are certain players I like, and Etu is one of them. I hope he gets a chance at Dimble.
Yeah, he brought him in for that reason. He felt he was lacking a bit behind his frontline sort of choices. I think he's still of an ilk that come next season, and whatever may happen at the end of the season, he might want a little bit more of a reliable striker in terms of mentality, as well as Anego's done this year.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a very strong looking side. Looks stronger than they've been all season, in fairness. And I think sat second, you're doing business that makes you stronger. I think he's sort of well on his way to definitely finishing in top 6.
You're more down with popular culture than I am. If FOMO is fear of missing out, does TOMO mean tired of missing out?
I ain't got a clue, mate. I'm in terms of all that stuff. No, I'm certainly not.
Tato hates Larson. Cue a hat trick. Yeah. Let's have a look at Fulchester next then. They have added Bumsong since we last played and dropped him straight into the reserves. So a worthwhile transfer, you feel?
Yeah, I mean, you wonder whether he's brought Bumsong because he did he play DMR for Ryan for Phoenix?
I think he did, yeah.
But I mean, you're looking there. The problem is he's got some good players, depending on setup.
So Ashley Cole again doesn't fit the system, but he hasn't seemed to have gone anywhere. Batistuta's fit, but not in the squad. You can understand sticking with Michael Owen. He's been in good form. 5 goals, 5 assists. You can't argue with that. Vieri has got 3 goals this season. Does that warrant him keeping a place over Batistuta? Because I feel it seems to be Vieri +1 all the time. It's Vieri and Owen, or Vieri and Batistuta. Why are we not seeing Owen and Batistuta?
I don't know, but them Owen numbers are the best that I can ever remember seeing in this league, from being involved from
100%.
Brilliant. And I think he alluded to that. And there's a couple of other managers as well that can allude to, we can get bits out of Owen. I'd never think I could ever, but that is massive. That 10 goal contribution so far from Michael Owen.
You think that's good? Riquelme's got 12.
Yeah, and again, been another myth who is just doing bits in a setup like this where he can get lost in centre midfield as well. That's the biggest compliment I can give Mac. Is lost with wingers over centre midfielder, but he's still contributing, still doing that, which is brilliant. Well,
that one will now be the end game because that's ghosted. So let's go to Badgers against Casuals. Hodgie, admittedly, I was very late with the packs because life got in the way this week, but Hodgie said he was out today. So same team, please. Unfortunately for him, Veron was suspended. So I went with the closest match available in his squad, and that was Johnston. It was either him or Youngberg, and as he has started more recently, I went with him. Maka says sound. I'll get more to add to. Whereas Dimble says, oh, for fuck's sake. And Tato, well, hey, I'm not on last. Fulchester just outside the playoffs, aren't they? Yes, that's correct, Rox. I think you said earlier the team that Casuals had out last game, which was this minus Johnston, Veron was there, was as strong as anything you'd seen despite the result. So you expect them to kick on, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what Walton have put out all season, that was their strongest 11 from start of season to last game, without a doubt. Obviously, Sorokinski's a big favourite of his. Zerberto, I think it was a good deal for him. Really was. I think Ian went a little bit overboard, giving him Ronaldo and Zerberto for Giggs. In fairness, I'm not sure anything went the other way as well as Giggs. But it just shows, in fairness, how he's still, to an extent, and I've got greatest respect for him, loving him a bit, clinging on to the last save, which is understandable, massively understandable. But yeah, I mean, you take Johnston and you take Claudio Lopez out of that. It's a very, very good 11 that can beat anybody quite comfortably on the day.
Let's have a look at badges then, and Johnson's starting to see and tells you all you need to know about the 11th placed finishers, Walton Casuals. Let's have a look at the badges, and they've gone with a more sort of standard Super League tactic. None of this imbalanced stuff that he does like to do. And I'll be honest, transfer by transfer, I am starting to love badges more and more. No more so than seeing Dyer and Van Bronckhorst reunited as wingbacks with Frey in goal as well. You might as well just slowly build the Devils winning team.
He said that to me. He was playing about with stuff, and he messaged me, said, how on earth can I play with what I've carried on when I've got 2 title winning wingbacks? And which is fair enough.
He messaged me about it, and I just said, he asked me what I thought to the wingbacks. I just put assists for days.
Yeah, I mean, Van Bronckhorst, especially for you, far more of an assist machine than Dyer was. Didn't have many assists for me. He just stat padded, getting 8s and this, that, and other. So it made sense to bring Bottle Samuel in when I've got Finnan that could play there. I've got Doulage if he wants to come up. But yeah, I think you take Fermani out of that. That's it was good for me for a little spell with Ronaldo when I got him. But yeah, it's getting close to being a side that can properly challenge and properly make some inroads.
Devio starts. He's the new addition since we last played. What do you make of his signing? Is he the sort of player you just said that they're getting closer and closer to being genuine challengers? Is he the sort of player that can take them to that level?
Yeah, I think he gets a bad rap. People not playing him. He proved back in that last save with Alf, and he can do numbers. I really like him. I genuinely really like him, and he's got this weird thing of he can play probably wing back better than he can AMC. With like how his setup is in terms of being an editor and stuff, and I think he's definitely somebody that Tato can look to do really well for him, and I'm not surprised he brought him in.
So Tato, one of the busiest managers as always. 6 of the 7 allotted transfers completed. 7th one is on the way as well. And also, I think it was 4, if not 5, reserve swaps. So he does like to mix his squad around as Tato, doesn't he?
Oh, definitely. I mean, obviously he's brought Jogan Johnson as well. It's one of his big. I'd be starting Jogan Johnson over Fermani. Fermani's done well, but I know he loves Fermani. But yeah, it's interesting setup, and I think it's a setup he don't like, but his players suit it, and he can go on and do okay with it.
6 reserve swaps. Let's have it, says Tato. Is the transfer window closed out? No, it's open till game week 20 ends. So, for fuck's sake. Never had 2 ghost games before.
Never.
What the fuck is going on here? Ever. My God. Okay. Let's carry on talking then, Steve. You travel to Northern Burn. Hopefully we'll be allowed to do this one. I'm not kidding. This is what happens when you say, well, hey, I'm not on last. You get... For fuck's sake. Looks like the save is going to die now. It'll be fine. Right, let's talk about Rose then, Steve. And Zanoni makes his debut, as does Vieira. Double ghosted, lovely. Sounds like my dating apps. Since we last played, Zanoni is the only player come in. The save is corrupt, redraft. Fuck off. If the save's corrupt, then that's it. I'm gone. I'm out of here. It's done. Talk to us about your starting 11, well, and your subs bench, which I noticed didn't include Hussein at all.
No, like I said, mate, he's got 5-6s on bounce. I think sort of take him out of firing line a little bit. My issue was I brought Zanoni in to mainly play DMR, but Gary Neville got 9 last game out. Nicky Butt, if you want to click on him, has been god awful. Yeah, he's not there. He just 362. Yeah, just that's not what we come to saw and love from Fulchester side. So I put Zanoni at DMC just because Neville can play DMR and he did well last game out. And I think I can get more. You get more ratings out of Vieira with instructions that are on out of MC than I would out of Zanoni, but Zanoni will still pad some stats being in DMC. So yeah, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with that team. Frank got an 8 on his other game before the cup started. So interested to see if he can carry that on, especially given how we were doing towards back end of the last save. And I'm just sticking with Nicky because I'm just hoping that he comes far better than he did last time out.
The big news coming out of your opponents tonight, Northern Burn, is that brand new signing Montero, who got injured on his debut away in the victory at Casuals, he's out for a month, so he'll be missing the next few games, which is huge, really. Burn have been busy and have added Donati, who got dropped straight into the reserves, Zanetti and Jens Novotny to the squad. Novotny only getting a place on the bench with Martin Lurson partnering Sammy Hippier in the team. But all the eyes once again will be on Sigalko, won't they?
Yeah, of course. I think it's proved he's not been great in previous iterations, but obviously the last save and as this one has started, he's been great. Can we just have a look at the players out that come for? I know he's done Yakubu for Novotny, but see, I think that Inzaghi and Brown, obviously Inzaghi made a big impact tonight. I think he gets a bad rap to an extent because he's never on the end of a bad deal ever. He will never let himself be on the end of a bad deal. But some of them look pretty fair.
Do they?
Yeah, I think so. Apart from that Ikubu one.
He has added... I mean, he's added Contra, Zauri, Montero, to an extent Novotny, who just about any manager in the league would want, and he hasn't really lost. The biggest loss in that is probably Brett Emerton.
Yeah.
And he's replaced them with Contra and Zauri.
I was massively surprised with that, with Odgie, in fairness. But that's... but yeah, that was Odgie's prerogative. We're talking about somebody who's been the top echelons of the league for God knows how long. The Inzaghi Brown from Montero, I'd probably be interested in that because Inzaghi would go for us. Wes Brown can get very good. Montero's a walking red card, but obviously he's been injured.
See, again, he's not, if he's managed correctly.
Well, just put him on soft tackle and everything and just let him sit there like a child in a bathrobe. I don't know.
Well, you laugh at you say that, but was he not part of the Devils team?
Yeah, he was. And
if you remember, everyone kept saying this, and we brought up his stats, and he hadn't had a red card for about 18 months.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I think, like I say, Ian's transfer business is really good. I do think that Campbell's got the better deal out of Medavicchia.
Do you?
Have done, yeah.
Based on,
I've messed about with him trying to.
Bit TMI, that's the.
I was trying to. I was trying to look at my options. Ian told me that Medovicia were class for him when he were testing it with DMR. I bet he's never tested him with DMR ever whatsoever. But he is a good player in right system. I think he'd suit the Aggie system, and I do genuinely think that Donati for Medovicia is one that Ian's finally lost out
on. I think the nicest possible way is I'll agree to disagree on that one.
Donati's crap. Donati's awful.
We're actually allowed to play this one, so I won't ask you for a prediction. I will just wish you and Mr. Edwards the very best of luck as we kick off what should have been the main event, but it's ended up being game 4 of 6. Dominating the early exchanges, but not managing to get the early goal that their play arguably deserved. Zanoni and Vieira getting involved a fair bit for the away side, who are just starting to play a little bit themselves. I can see Nicky Franco getting involved. Set piece or two as well. And another attempt goes wide for White Rose. We're just putting Burn under a little bit of pressure. Approaching half-time now. I think that's 4 minutes to be added on. Oh, but the last chance of the half went to the away side. They failed to convert. And at half-time, Rose are still level with top of the table Burn, but have created 3 times the amount of chances.
Yeah, we've done okay, haven't we? Seemed like we created a little bit more than that, but yeah, it's a solid first half considering where we are in the league and previous games. I'm pretty okay with that.
Okay. Ian's already said as is, no changes for him. Just a very quick look. And the fact that the only attempt on goal has not come from Sigalko tells you how well defensively you've kept Northern Burn quiet there, Steve. Solid ratings throughout for you. Just Nicky Franco and Luca Toni not on 7s.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it as is, mate.
You're leaving as is as well?
Please. Yeah.
Resume the action to 60 then. And early opportunities for the home side. And Franco and Vieira getting involved and combine it. And then 10 minutes flies by with nothing happening. We stop the game on 68. Again, under a bit of pressure early, Steve, but you played your way back into it.
Yeah, again, I'm still pretty confident I'm being comfortable where we are. We've done okay. We've been solid. And I'll take a point in fairness. Against top at league, wouldn't you?
Play to win, Steve. Play to win. Ian remaining unchanged. He's happy with this 11. Are you making any changes to try and alter it?
Go back to ratings, please, mate. Give it Ebisand for Nicky Franco. Sand left striker, Tony right striker. Franco, AMC with an arrow, please, mate.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Going for it. Let's see how this plays out. And there's Sigalko, who gives Northern Burn the lead on 72 minutes into the final 10 now. It's Burn coming forward again. Yellow card, free kick to the home side, which Carlos takes. Now Franco picks it up. Tony, offside by Ebisand, though. Samuel picks it up, Dede. Sand and into Tony. But this long distance effort goes horribly wrong. 4 minutes to be added on. Franco picks it up again. He's done well so far, Franco. Luca Toni! Good save. Shottis as we head into injury time. Vieira and Cole playing 1-2s. Intercepted now Sigalko. Jeremy's contra. Pelizzoli contra on the rebound. Pelizzoli gets there at the second attempt. One last chance possibly for Rose. Ebisand. Sand picks it up again. Franco. Dede. But Rose just could not force it in. And it finishes Northern Burn 1, White Rose 0. Very, very even game, Steve. And once again, Sigalko, the difference maker.
Yeah, I think any other striker than Sigalko starting up there for Burn, it probably don't end up that way. But he's been on fire. He's been class. And massive credit to Ian, in fairness.
Their goalkeeper getting man of the match tells you everything you need to know, I feel.
Shock.
No, people were saying that wasn't a 6-0 game, that?
No, it wasn't. Wasn't again. I don't need to apologise again. Bloody hell.
As for your side, not a bad performance. Perhaps just not. You needed one or two of your bigger players just to really take it to that extra gear.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Lucatoni's been a bit disappointing there when he was really good in the 2 last time out, but I didn't really want him in a 2 because he tested better as a 1 on his own. But yeah, there's I'm fairly confident that we've gone away at top of the league. We've been okay, and let's just see what next game brings.
Okay. Well, congratulations to Ian and Northern Burn who maintain their position.
Rocks is
yeah, I've just seen that as well.
If Daniel Anderson didn't have hands like lettuce, Vitesse might have won a Champions League for Scandinavians, but obviously these things happen, don't they?
Right, that takes us back to the Ghost games, and it seems to want to do Badgers v Casuals, maybe? Yes. Right, just a very quick refresh of the teams then. Here is the home side, flanked by Van Bronckhorst and Dyer. Here is Casuals, who have Johnston in for the suspended Veron. We kick this one off, and it's Badgers with the early pressure. Buffon making a save or two early. The Casuals take the lead through Ronaldo. Was it someone a chance to prove the rocks theory? Plenty. I've seen a couple of crosses going in, which can only mean Dyer and or Van Bronckhorst are involved. And there's Van Nistelrooy. I think that's a GVB assist. I'll look forward to checking that one out. Approaching half time, Frey with a couple of saves, and it's the first half concludes 1 apiece. That looked all right. That.
Yeah, entertaining. Both sides have gone at it, and they've been, in terms of clinical. So there's obviously 2 keepers that have done really well. Yeah, enjoyable first half. That.
Maggot every single time is just Sigalko 69-72. Fancy graphic by Edwards. Let's have a look at the home side first. Assists wise. Yes, Van Bronckhorst, it was with the assist for Van Nistelrooy's goal. Not bad ratings throughout, just the 1-6, that's for Famani. Most of the players seeing the ball. Van der Vaart would be the concern for me, just not seeing enough in a key position.
Yeah, I think he's had an unreal start at season, or half a season now, how far we're in. But yeah, where he's been, he probably wanted to get his foot on ball a little bit more, but it's not a disappointing performance at all. I think they'll be pretty happy with that. And I've seen he's going as is. So yeah, I think he'll be confident he might be able to do something.
He is, and we know Hodge isn't here, but a fair spread of possession throughout the whole team. Shots from different players as well. Just put my single goal all over Photoshop. So we will only make changes for red cards or injuries. Let's resume to 60 and see. Oh, and there's a red card, and that is massive for Badgers. If only Kaladze had stayed on the right-hand side of that DM line.
Well, could be that. If only he weren't wearing colours of a Bhutan Badger. If what colours of a manager that used to love him. But yeah, I should imagine he'll just go for Mana Central here because Just try and keep a bit of shape. And
do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if Van der Vaart dropped back with a diag.
yeah, maybe so. Or De Vaio to left wing back and Van Bronckhorst central. From little conversations we've had earlier, almost surprised to see De Vaio DML. All right, he's just gone mad. He's gone mad.
Macca. Oh dear me. Right. Let's see if I can get my head around this. Leave Agahauer as is on. Okay, so De Vaio off for Switkowski. There he is. GVB to DMC. Just like that. I buy that. There we go. So, and leave Agahauer like that. So, yeah. I mean, I was right that he would match the 4 up again. I just got the players wrong. But it does make sense to have GVB in there, I think.
I'd left it with DML, in fairness. I mean, he's not got much options. You got Kesman and Palermo on bench. Like it's like it's going for the attitude. But yeah, it's see what happens if another injury comes.
And there's Cliver with his 5th of the season. Dagger into the heart. Badgers who just miss another opportunity. 64 minutes now on the clock. And you mentioned the substitutes there. I suppose the one benefit now is when you're in a losing position, you've got 2 perfectly good attacking options.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it, though, when you look at them. Not 6 in sight. It's a decent performance, which are probably madden the Spud brand a little bit more.
Van der Vaart off for Palermo, maybe. Go 2 up top with Agahauer in centre midfield and a forward run.
I can't see him taking Van der Vaart off. He's been good. He's been instrumental at times to a lot of his results. So his tail, I ain't got a clue what he might do, might not do. I just, no. I ain't got a clue.
Macca's not even watching here. He fucking hates this.
Yeah, he's commenting on YouTube. Well, it's on, but he's not watching it.
Yeah, indeed. Van der Vaart off for Kesman. Stick him at AMC with an arrow. Oh. And then arrows on. Okay. Who wants champagne and specials at mine? I will, Macca. I'd love to see how the other half live.
Depends when, doesn't it?
It's 2 apiece. Agahauer scores. And then another almost 10 minutes goes by, nothing happening. Here come the 10 men again. Van Bronckhorst to Van Nistelrooy. Buffon does well, and it's a corner kick.
I tend to agree with Rox a bit here as well. But
Kesman in AMC is the most fucking deranged comment tonight so far. Heard of everything Macca has said. Heading into injury time, is there going to be late drama? Is Van Bronckhorst, Switkowski? And he's still going, Agahauer! Buffon, Kesman picks it up! Guess what scores in injury time? Kesman from AMC scores in injury time.
Audrey, that's Rox's fault, is that, Audrey? Rox's fault, not mine. I only agreed. It's not my fault.
Final whistle goes. Kesman scores the winner in injury time from AFC on the rebound, and then rocks.
Standard.
Oh, it's been a night of entertainment and late drama. Look at the match as it was an even game. I mean, both sides have got a decent conversion rate there, Steve.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's fairly. I think looking at it, I think they've slightly edged it. Badgers, in fairness, obviously, it looks like Casual has struggled with tackling, but yeah, massive for Badgers is that.
Do you know what? I'd love to just take a screenshot of this, crop everything else out, and just leave that Bronckhorst and Dyer's stats there for Tater. Absolutely phenomenal performance.
What? Why has he got a 10 though? What has he done to contribute to that 10?
Just being superb.
Tackle. He's got no assists. It's completed he's completed 2/3 of his passes.
Guessman did nothing.
If we're doing silly maths, he's completed 2/3 of his passes. He's completed one tackle that were key. He hasn't got an assist. He's had an header. He's had a shot on target. There's nothing to contribute to that 10. Yeah, not having it.
He's literally kicked the ball in the goal thing for a touchdown. He was acting like I will not have any. I will not have you say a bad word about Kieran Dyer. He's done very well and deserved his 10 out of 10 rating. Fuck off.
He did very well for me. I'm just saying that 10 out of 10 is not deserved there. Gio's done well. He's got an assist. Deserves man at match over Kieran Dyer. That's all I'll say.
Doug is saying that one match probably flips Tato's entire thoughts on wing backs from here on.
He flips his thoughts, him getting Bronckhorst in and Dyer in. He won't because of this result. It will because he realised he had what was the title winning fullback.
It's also worth noting the performances of Van Nistelrooy and Fermani. As for Hodges, Brotta did well. Ronaldo did well as well, playing as a 2. It had to be noticed. Tato ain't using database bullshit to cheat though. Imagine losing Lizard's Netties. Imagine losing them. He start building around wing backs.
Well, that's pretty fair comment, is that? But I think in terms of previous saves and what's going on, obviously 2 more attacking fullbacks than Lizzie Rasmussen. Yeah, obviously they contributed massively to us winning a title. Did Lizzie Rasmussen? But I understand his stance. We're going a bit more attacking with him.
Well, congratulations to Badgers for your injury time winner this evening. And that means we can conclude now with Fulchester at home to East Coast. Again, just a quick reminder of the teams. There is your Fulchester 11 and your East Coast 11.
Seemed in most comment.
Hoping for a Fulchester win for the safety of Macca's family and the Salford area. Finally, sir, a score prediction, please.
I'm going to go 2 apiece just because of what's going on in chat.
2 apiece is the prediction. Early opportunity it was for Fulchester. And another one. But here come the away side now. Larson with an attempt. A couple of set pieces, but an injury. And it's the debutant Ortega who goes off.
Igor Bushkan. He just don't fill you with confidence.
For the safety of Lancashire at this point, Dim says Macca. And Rock saying Dimble casually removing his goalkeeper with 10 minutes left. Just wait for confirmation that Bishkan's coming on. He is the obvious replacement. Or does Dimble just go fuck it, bring Samuel Eto'o on and go ultra attacking?
Dimble's not one to lose shape. He won't lose shape.
Macca is saying he hates life. He's done. I don't think you're 14 minutes into the game and it's still 0-0. Macca listening to Huey Lewis and the news in his apartment. Edwards knows. Let's resume the action. And there's Raquelme. And there's the goal. It's Vieri, the man who I said shouldn't be in the team necessarily. It's 2, Michael Owen. Fulchester at the double to go 2-0 up inside of a minute. And there's a third. It's Luis Enrique. And Fulchester in danger of running riot here. There's a red card for Taribo West. Even when Macca's winning, he can't just have it all his own way.
I think I don't know what to. If I were in Mac's position here, I'd be tempted to, because you're running gauntlet, I'd be going one at back. But I know what it's like in terms of wants to hold a little bit of a lead. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Mendes come on for probably Gattuso, because Riquelme's a big class. Go back to a 2 and Riquelme central.
Reaction in the chat to what's happened so far. This tells you this is at 3-0. And this is where the red card.
Play Mendes AMC.
Interested to see what Macca does here. I don't know what I do here because it's going quite well. I might go one at the back, but drop Gattuso DM alongside Ambrosini.
Well, yeah, there is that. Because obviously you've got your half time to get to, and then you've got 60 minutes to change it even more, and if you start getting on back foot. So,
good night, Mr. Edwards. Macca's confirming one at the back. Drop Gattuso to DMC. Riquelme MC. So, do you know what? I do actually quite like the look of this still.
Yeah. I think it's stronger.
Dimble, with it being a red card. Shit mine about, please. Bishkan to DMC. Like this. Petkov to ML. Oh, okay. I get it now. Read the whole message. It makes more sense. So, Petkov going there, Baumer going there, Bishkan going there. Nothing. Well, shift my shit. Right, so we've now got Bishkan to the MC, got that. Petkov to midfield left, got that. Vogel MC, got that. Baumer mid right. Honestly, do one. Shift my shit. Nah, I think I went home. Baumer midfield right. What the fuck is this? Says Rocks. And Dimble saying yes. He could play right Ricks. Go on, Steve. I'm hard enough following what Mac is saying without you doing it at all.
He can play right.
So both teams have changed up after that red card. There's Luis Enrique to make it 4. Surely not 5 before halftime as they come forward again. Michael Owen missing the opportunity. 4 minutes to be added on. I mean, Fulchester are going through them like a knife through butter. Why do we exist? Half-time, Fulchester 4-0 up. Steve, being ruthlessly efficient.
I think Macca's call of why do we exist for him being 4-0 up is it's like madness, really. Dimble's like he's built his team and he's getting to like it more, a bit like we did. Without cheat code.
Rock's saying what a performance. Mac is saying, is this eel? I think he means real.
It's electric. It's what it is. Yeah, I won't be surprised to see Dimble's keeper.
Ian, I think you've read that the wrong way around. 2 on target, 4 goals. No. Mac, fucking hell, everyone's at it. God, I can't wait for this game to be over. Mac is saying roll, unsurprising given that first half. Not concerned being a man down. I mean, Toldo 4, Baumer 5, Vogel 5. Just looking at all of the ratings, it's just rank.
Yeah, Biskan's kicking air since coming on as well. Yeah, I can imagine it's probably one of the most infuriating and questioning times in Dimble's tenure, whether it be in Churchtown or East Coast. He'll be, I can imagine he'll be not too happy at this.
Do you think he'll go to Rob's? Nah, let him play it out. mentality, or will pride take over and he'll want to change it?
I can't see what could massively change. His setups are always good. So it's a case of bring Etu on for one at AMC's, maybe Henri just to make sure I don't get a red card. But yeah, I can't see what could be done massively. He'll improve. I won't be surprised to see him get a goal.
Right.
But
so we're changing it again. 2-1-4-2-1. Bishkan in centre mid and Etu on for Henri.
Yeah, I expected that just for red card but yeah.
Ian saying that's a mental result as it stands. Rox saying Bauman's having a brilliant game on the right.
Well, yeah, but nobody else is having a good game, so it's not as if you've been left behind, is it?
Maka just randomly. Let's get back to the action. I'm getting far too old for this nonsense. It's half time. We'll lose 5-4, says Maka. Well, there's one. It's Maka's 10th for the season. And Maka's about to lose his shit. It's 4-1 Steve as we pause for the hour mark. Surely not.
No, that's not going to happen. But again, it'll just take me off massively to what Maka's getting out of Riquelme. 9 there again.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Maka same role. Not much left, really, that Dimble can do here, is there?
No, not in my opinion. Apart from maybe try and move a couple of players back, but they're all pretty defensive across that midfield line. It'd just be roll with it and then suck it up and come back. And whoever is playing next, I'd be a little bit cautious of playing a wounded animal.
Dimble same role as well. Rox, you say that. Did you see the episode that Rob came on? It was fucking carnage. It's 4-2. Oh dear. Get the mouth ready just in case. Fulchester steaming forward to try and stop this comeback from East Coast. It is 4-2. But then too much time has gone by. You feel now we're heading towards injury time. Into injury time. Oh no, it's 4-3 with a minute to go. Fulchester survive. Fulchester survive. And I think that's the best way to describe it. Henrik Larsson getting a debut goal. Fuck me. If that had gone on maybe 2 minutes more, Maka's laptop, his kids, his missus, they would have all been out the window. What a turnaround by East Coast in that second half.
Yeah, it goes to show again. If you look at a game, somebody's lost by 1 goal. It's a massive leaving game, and it really come the end of it. Massive kudos to Maka for not only getting Riquelme playing in a 2, but that setup what they got to turn somebody over like Course who are far more solid than they are. It's it's massive for Maka. Is that?
Ian Edwards was going to bed. He couldn't not watch this game. Let's have a look at Fulchester. Enrique getting man of the match. Got 2 goals tonight. Owen Vieri both on the score sheet as well. 8s throughout the rest of the team. Ambrosini, Abiati 7s. The only player less was the man who got sent off, Taribo West. You look at that, it looks a very, very good performance, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think Abiati were on a 8 at some point, whether it was half time, whether it was 60. But you look at and Alex playing up wings, getting assists. Riquelme getting assists, just doing his bits. He's putting tackles in as well. I would have thought that was. That's just an all-round, very, very good performance. And
The most legible comment from Macca all night.
He was playing against his former club though, wasn't he? So it's all relevant at times, playing against teams in your former clubs. But it's top and bottom is Macca needs massive credit for churning that out.
Anelka with 2, Larson with 1, but still a number of 5s dotted throughout that side, and that's ultimately what's cost them tonight, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Eto's done to get an 80 there. Fair enough.
Stop slating people that are getting good ratings. Talk about the players getting shit ratings.
No, because people that have got bad rates have done. People that have done really well in terms of tackles and stuff have been really low rated all night. And then Eto's come on. All right, fair enough. He's completed a lot of his passes, but he's missed headers. He's had 2 shots off target. What does that warrant? And yeah, but Anelka.
Well, let me give it a clue. And Tato's noticed it as well. He's got 2 assists.
All right, yeah, sorry. He knows that.
Rox has also pointed out that he's got 2 assists.
So Sammy Eto's had a great performance there.
Assists.
And but yeah, I don't think it's far too much. There's no going back to drawing board for Dimble. I think it's just one to wipe off and just stick with it and get your players all on pitch. And I'm sure that he'll come back far better than I will anyway. So
that concludes the fixtures for this evening. And wow, look how many goals. That's what, 7, 12, 19, 20, 24 goals in the 6 games tonight, Steve. And included in that was 3 teams failing to score, one of them being yourself.
Yeah, it's what we're here for entertainment. We're here for goals, aren't we? And we're here for Ian was just bumming people's heads off. But yeah, no, honestly, it's been a great night. Some proper end-to-end games, in fairness, and it's been really enjoyable. I'd have been saying the same thing if I was sat watching it not on comms as well. It's been a really fantastic night, in fairness, regardless of where your loyalty is, where your team lies on getting results or not. But it's been extremely entertaining.
Macca is gucked from the alcohol. Let's go through the classifieds. Astor 3, Dragons 4, Badgers 3, Casuals 2, Fulchester 4, Coast 3, Burn winning 1-0 at home to Rose, Cassells with the most comfortable win of the evening, 3-0 away at Triple P, and Celtics going down 1-0 at home to the Vikings. Bring on the marrow. Let's have a look at what it does to the table. Burn with their 10 wins, now 5 points clear at the top of the table. Vikings up to second on 28. So much fairness from Steve.
Yeah. I realise it's been something I said quite. It's better than
that's all right. I got pulled up recently on my Fools Rushing podcast that not only me but everyone uses the word alluded to too much. And then someone did a count, and in one 95-minute episode, apparently we'd said it something like 14 times between us.
Yeah, there's certain things you say quite regularly when you're trying to bring the content up, and I don't think it's been that much for me. In fairness, it's at least I've still not had a without a shadow of a doubt call yet, which is the norm. But yeah, sod off tail.
Vikings second, 28. Then we've got Coasting Gazelles on 27. 2 points further back, we've got Stanley, who didn't play tonight, and Fulchester. Casuals now 7th on 23. Then we've got Dragons, Haggis, and Badgers all on 22. There's Macca saying without a shadow of a doubt. And there's Duggan with the klaxon. So yeah, we've got the 3 teams there on 22. Then Celtics are on 20. And the bottom 3 all losing tonight means that remains unchanged. So at some point in the next couple of days, we will do Stanley versus Haggis, as well as Haggis' other Continental Cup game. And then we have a full program. We've got Dragons versus Haggis, big game of that for the chasing pack. Coast versus Astor, Gazelles versus Celtics. Burn Stanley could be an absolute classic. Vikings Fulchester could be entertaining as hell. Casuals Triple P, well, who knows? And then we've got Steve hosting Tato. Tato's pointing out, you said without a doubt twice.
Yeah, because I've tried reining in the shadow of it. It shows how much people pay attention and how much people just try to jump on what I say and how much people love me and look up to me just by it's all being living rent free in everybody's head. So,
well, I'm glad that everyone is enjoying the Super League again. It's amazing what a break for the Cup and a ridiculously big transfer window can do for everyone's morale, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't wait for if Bojan Jordic comes in to score an hat-trick against Badgers next week. So, proper up for it.
I'm just clicking through.
Goals. That's mad. Galco there. It's just 16. Has there ever been any striker? Obviously, you've been here for a lot of years, Fyfie. Score 16 goals at this point of this save. Really?
I don't know. It's more. There's very few ever get to 20 by the end of the season. I think it's only happened 2 or 3 times, really.
Yeah, that's getting blown out of water. I reckon we're on for a Super League record.
So I would need someone to double check it. I want to say the record is likely to be around. I'm sure Sigalko took it off and Penza, so it's going to be in the mid-20s. I want to say it's about 24, 25, possibly the record. Someone would need to fact check that though. Maka says Sador's been injured for 2 months too. Looking at the assists there, but yeah, as I just click through these screens, Steve, any final comments from yourself?
No, obviously, in regards to our game, I really think my tactical change might have swayed it a little bit, left us a bit more open, rather than having 2 centre midfielders, but rather than having 2 AMCs. But you know what? It's we go again, and this is the last save. We were this sort of poor early doors. We've done better business than we did then, so. Depending how long the save runs, I think confident of doing okay at some point.
Well, it's good that you've still got that confidence. We like to hear it. Thank you very much for jumping on. Anyone who would like to...
I can't say that. I'm just like, I'm covering that.
Sorry, let me. That's insensitive. Let me change it to that.
Click off, man.
Anyone who would like to do comms on Thursday, please let me know. Packs, I'm not going to say. Packs are likely to be Tuesday, I'll be honest, because we are starting early tomorrow on Fools Russian podcast.
Tuesday's all good, mate. Don't worry about Tuesday. Tuesday's all good.
To be fair, if I can get them out to you at 11:30 on a Sunday morning, and everyone bar one actually not only just said, not just an unchanged message, but to actually set the tactic files, I'm sure Tuesday for Thursday will be sufficient. Mac is steaming. Tato wants you to get on the old save to double check the scoring record. Mr. Edwards still not in bed, says great show. And Tato saying it was a good laugh. That Steve, thank you very much again. And from Super League HQ, keep an eye out for a message regarding the Haggis Stanley fixture. But from Steve, from me, from Super League HQ, thank you very much for watching. It has been a very entertaining night. Goodbye.